Hey guys, Greg here, Bone Tactical. Got some really cool stuff today with this unboxing. Some cool stuff in from some new providers. If you're a techie, stay tuned. If you're a prepper, if you like the outdoors, any of that stuff, even if you have a dog, stay tuned. Got some knives if you like knives. I always do an unboxing video first and then I put it into testing down the road. I've done crazy extensive knife testing, probably some of the most extensive knife testing that you'll find anywhere on the internet about these and with these Odin Wolf knives. I don't know why they keep sending me knives because I'm really hard on their stuff and didn't give, you know, the best review possible, really necessarily, but I think for the price, these knives are not bad, and I gave them a very, very honest review. So this particular knife that I've got right here is the Odin Wolf, ODLF00321 BSA. Okay, now what can I tell you about this knife? It definitely looks like maybe like a Dutch or Norwegian bushcraft inspired blade. It has a pretty cool little pocket clip here. They're not extremely useful because they are kind of apt to falling out and whatnot, but it is kind of an interesting way to carry the knife. The way that it looks right now, it looks like it's set up for left-hand IWB, unless you're gonna stick this on the outside of your waistband for a right-handed person, I'm not sure. Anyway, this is gonna be really a neck knife size for bushcraft. The sheath is a nice sheath, so it's just starting off, very nice sheath. We've got D2 steel. D2's great steel. It just really depends on the heat treat. This is a Scandi grind. It's like a little mini Scandi grind, kind of a weird Scandi grind. It's not super, super sharp. It actually looks like it has another edge on it after the Scandi grind, possibly. It is just a very interesting grind. It is sharp, so it cuts very well. It just doesn't feel as really super sharp as I would necessarily want, but you could get it. It's not hair popping sharp, but it's not a bad sharpness, not a bad knife. And I think that, you know, it's definitely got a very comfortable grip on there, and size wise you could wear it around your neck 100%. It's got enough retention, very nice sheath. Would definitely say that this would be a great knife to have out in the field. It's a little small, so it's not going to be necessarily something that is as effective as an EDC Kank, and then your width really throws it off for being able to be concealed. So it's very bushcraft specific. It is a little small for a lot of bushcraft tasks, but it's light, and if I had, you know, if I didn't have anything else and no other options, then I would be very happy that I had that. It definitely comes with some cord for neck carry, and like I say, I would recommend, because of the size of it, it seems like when you're in the field that you could definitely neck carry that. It's not something you could conceal, and it's not something you'd want to EDC neck carry. Here's another version of it in OD green, so it's the same exact knife in OD green, looks like to me. Let me just check those model numbers. Yeah, same exact knife. Definitely a cool little bushcraft knife, and you know, this is a German company. Germany, they do a pretty good job in Germany. I'm not sure that these knives are made in Germany. I don't know that for sure if they're produced in Germany, but and there was some discrepancies on the heat treat as far as in some of the other videos that I tested, but some of their knives were very good for the price. You know, being a cheap knife, you know, good for a cheap knife, let's say. This is from Jugbo, okay, and this is a dog shock collar, all right? So dog shock collar, we'll have to kind of see, you know, I want to open this for discussion. So what do you guys think of dog shock collars? Is there a use for them or is there not? This is, it's called a dog training collar, okay? And I think it has some, you know, static electricity features, and as well as a remote control. So, you know, it can definitely, you know, zap the dogs, and then I think it has some audio features as well. I have a couple pit bulls that they are well-trained, good dogs, incredible guard dogs. These ones I have at they're shop dogs, basically. They take really good care of the compound. I've trained them, you know, at night. They do not want any movement. They don't want anything coming in there. There's one issue with them. They tend to fight a little bit. They're maybe for resources or over anything. I've had times when I've just given more attention to one than the other, and they'll get upset with each other. It's basically littermate syndrome. I raised them together from young puppies, brother dogs, pit bulls, very strong game bred pit bulls, bloodline. They can be extremely dangerous dogs. If you don't, you know, you won't find game bred pit bulls just anywhere. Most people breed pit bulls in the United States for temperament, and so that they're nice family dogs. The dogs that I have are monsters, okay? So they do have a little bit of littermate syndrome, and when they do get, I can tell before it happens. I can usually grab one of them and then, you know, put myself in between and get them to not do it, but they do. It's kind of like a little bit of a flip with that, and when I'm not there is what I'm really worried about. They don't do it much when I'm around, but I'm not at the shop, and then I have the guys, my apprentices sometimes are in care of the dogs, and they're very scared of when that happens. They don't want to put themselves in the middle there. You can't pull them apart once it happens, because once they lock up, they're not actually fighting to kill each other, but they're fighting to assert dominance, and if you do grab one of them, it'll grab hold of the other dog to get like a last bite in, and it'll rip, you know, it could rip an arm off or an ear off, rip an eye out. They're very large, very powerful pit bulls. They kill stuff all the time that, you know, that comes into the area there. But anyway, so these little shock collars, I really don't. So I've never used a shock collar with a dog. I've never thought it was necessary. I'm gonna probably test it on. I'm definitely gonna test it on myself, see how it feels, and then make a decision of if. And I probably still won't use it on the dogs myself. But I may hang, I'm going to probably put this, because this kit comes with two and it has a remote. I'll probably hang this remote in my workshop. May try it with the sound feature first, see what the dogs do. I may use the sound feature. But as far as the shock feature goes, I'm just going to have it there for when my workers, possibly, I'm going to test it first and wait for that testing video. But I'll probably hang it in my workshop and have if the two dogs end up fighting, because they don't listen to the workers as much as they listen to me, and they're not as attentive with them, I'm gonna probably have it there for those guys. So we'll see how it works. It looks very nice. It looks well made. Everything looks pretty great about it, actually. There's a lot of ways that the sound function on there can be pretty awesome. So there's vibration, which is another thing that can be very awesome, and you know, there's static shock level 1 through 99, and I think the static shock would definitely be the ultimate. The thing that I don't know if I'm going to use or not. But vibration can be a good cue. The sound can be a great cue, training cue. So training collar can be a very effective and cool thing, and it doesn't have to be a shock collar. So let's discuss that. And I would say I've got my dog here with me now, Jones, and he's just absolutely incredibly well trained. And he just there would be no need ever for any kind of shocking him. So it's not for all dogs, right? It really depends on the dog. Jones is also a pit bull. He's a rescue pit bull, and he's just extremely attentive. And if he, you know, there's no reason why I would ever even consider putting a shock collar on Jones. It just all depends on the dog, right? This is called the Nu-Q File Hub Travel Router with external battery. Because as an SD card slot, you may have to put the SD card in order for it to have its own storage space inside of it, but otherwise it works as a router, file hub. Whether you can save on the device or not, you can still access it via Wi-Fi, transfer hub, or even a router. If you don't have a router, you can use it as a router while traveling. So it is a cool little convenient device. It can be a battery bank, power, battery, backup battery. I'm just gonna have to get into testing this thing in future videos to really show you guys how good it is. I do have some other cool stuff. Stay tuned if you're outdoorsmen. We have a really cool thing that I'm really excited. I don't know how many of you guys have, if you're an outdoorsman, you've definitely been outside around mosquitoes and had mosquito problems. I've used everything that you can possibly imagine. I've been all over the world in some of the most mosquito intense places you can be, from the swamps of the Everglades to, you know, super remote areas of Central America. I've, you know, had to sleep with clouds of mosquitoes. Couple pro tips: anything with really high DEET, if not 100% DEET, just careful not to get it on anything you don't want it to ruin. And Thermacell. Thermacell has always been good to go. This looks like that they're using something very similar to Thermacell, so I think it might really work, but now using it with electronically instead of with propane. Thermacell always used to use the propane. This is from Nightcore, and then these are the same exact little pouches that Thermacell always used to use. You just stick them in here, and then you turn this on, and it puts off whatever it puts off. If this is comparable to a Thermacell, that's cool. That's really cool because this is really small, rechargeable from a USB. You know, Nightcore is the flashlight guys, so they have really extensive experience with good quality batteries and it'll have good run time. And then it's very small, and that's amazing. The size of it is amazing because of the portability of it. And if it works, like I say, I'm gonna have to test it out and see if it works like a Thermacell. If it does, we're in business, because it's definitely gonna be something pretty awesome. So excited to check out this Nightcore electronic multi-purpose repeller, basically a mosquito repellent device. Now this is really cool. This is supposedly the most comfortable open ear earphones. These are Cozy Fit LYTMI. All of this stuff I'm going to link in the description below. So everything in this video, everything in all of my videos that I do reviews and whatnot on, they'll all have links in the description below. A lot of it's going to be discounted if you purchase it from my website. This particular item I'm really excited to check out because right now I use Beats headphones, and these ones are actually like over ear. They don't go in your ear, they go over your ear. Wow, that's, and these are bone colored, which I thought was really cool. They had a bunch of different options. These ones in particular are bone colored. I'm hard of hearing just from, you know, having guns going off all, you know, indoors, in cars, vehicles like that, shooting without ear pro when I didn't have a chance to use ear pro, explosions, whatever, you know, all of the hearing damage that I'm very hard of hearing at my age now, so I have to use my Beats all the way up. The one thing that worried me about these potentially is that maybe since they're over ear, open ear headphones, they are extremely comfortable. I just tried them. It's nuts how comfortable they are. The one thing I'm possibly a little bit worried about is whether they will be loud enough for me. So I'm just going to have to let you guys know in a future video. Link in description below. Fit and finish, everything looks really cool. These look just like my Beats, except instead of going inside the ear, they sit over the outside of the ear. If that's something you're interested in, definitely check that out. You're going to want to see what's in this box right here. Before I do that, let me show you guys these binoculars from Toyo, which I'm not really sure completely how to pronounce that. They are a Chinese, you know, company that you can get these off Amazon. So I'll link them in the description below. I've got tons of binocular videos on my channel, so definitely check out the other ones. I've always been a Bushnell Elite guy. I've always thought that for the price, the best you can get is Bushnell Elite. But we will definitely get these into testing and see how they hold up. The fit and finish looks pretty good. I'm not seeing anything, you know, that's left to be desired. I think one of the biggest things that always kind of messes me up right off the bat with the cheaper Chinese binoculars is that they just don't seem to fit the face well, and I always seem to have a problem with really just getting a crystal clear view, especially getting the two different tubes to line up well and everything, and then getting a sync between getting, you know, having everything fit together well, and that just seems to be something that more expensive binoculars just do a much better job with in general, is kind of getting you're, being able to adjust to where both, because it's actually the signals that your two different eyes are picking up, right, and transmitting in your brain, and then the way that your brain is reading what you're seeing, and a much higher quality binocular will do a much better job of that. So I'm gonna have to get these tested to see how that actually works. I don't want to say too much, but they do look pretty good. The fit and finish, it just, I like what I like and what I prefer when I adjust something is I like to actually have to adjust it. I like to apply a little bit of pressure on there and feel that I have to move it. This is okay here. It is a little soft, and then this here is very, very soft. I just don't think it doesn't click in too much, but the end, the start and the finish are very strong and solid, and it does have adjustment for each eye individually. So I think that this could potentially be a very high quality binocular, and I'm not going to knock it. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to down talk it or trash it or anything. There is a hookup for it here so that it can be attached to a tripod. All right, it's got a looks pretty standard 1/4 inch, like a photography tripod, and then it's got like a deal on there where somehow you can attach this binocular to a tripod, which is cool. I think it just actually attaches to possibly to one of the eye holes, or I'm not seeing where this would specifically attach to on the binocular itself, but that's something that will, it would just basically attach to one of the eye holes, I suppose. But I'm not seeing anything right now that's any kind of a big like anything that's a big negative. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that we'll push these into the next phase of testing. Everything looks pretty good as far as what I'm seeing. And then in this box we have something really cool. This is for you preppers out there, and I'm pretty excited to check this out. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of these and do like some camping and survival with it, and see if I can actually survive, just with this, just eating. This is so it's prepper food basically. I'm gonna see if I can survive with just the food that's in one of these things here. So I'm pretty excited about it. This is from Valley Food Storage, and you can see it's a long-term food kit. All right, so I can't say a whole lot about these other than that they're quite expensive, but they consider this to be a long-term food storage kit. All right, so I know these can last up to 30 years or more, depending. And I don't know how much nutritional value is in here. I don't know how healthy it is. I don't know what kind of calories and carbs and sugar content, and if it's you guys know I have my bachelor's in the field of kinesiology, basically exercise science, and I've taken quite a few classes and health-based stuff, nutrition classes, stuff like that. So I really would like to see what's in here. I think what I'm going to do, comment below if you want me to take one of these on a overland expedition or out on the woods or something, and really see if I can survive for a week or even a couple weeks, or how long I can survive with just what's in here, and get it out and test it. So this is definitely supposed to be one of the better, higher end survival storage options, survival food options. The plastic is really useful because it doesn't matter if it gets wet or if it floods in the area, it's still going to be in here solid. Plastic is good that rats can technically, so if you get really tough rats, they can chew through plastic. I don't know about this thickness of plastic. I would put it in like a Pelican case or something like that if I was worried about it. I have had canola oil actually stored, and that was for forging. My workshop had some canola oil stored, and had rats chew through the plastic bottles of the canola oil. So I have seen that, but it was not, it was a little thinner than this, right? So comment below if you want me to get these, if you want me to do like a survival type video or an overland expedition camp type trip. I'm thinking about doing that this winter. And if you want me to just bring one of these and show you guys exactly what it's like, what it's about, talk you through it. If you're interested in something like that, please let me know and I'll get that done for you. Whatever you're most interested about seeing tested in the future in this video, let me know as well, and I'll get that stuff into testing for you. Thanks for watching. Bone out.